Chris Hafner on your left, Dylan Donegan on your right. 9-0, 8-1. Some of these things will fill in a moment and we'll be underway. It'll be Hogak time.
It's time.
Stitcher Supplier for Chris Hafner. It's a Faithless Looting for Dylan Donegan. He'll discard a couple copies of Vengevine. Skulgari Thug, which Hafner does have in his deck. And now here's a Stitcher Supplier for Dylan. And now, of course, another card. It's a Gravecrawler. It's an attack for 8 on turn 2. Super cool.
Yep.
Super cool.
Well, you probably want to block with the Thug here, get a little chump block going, get some dredging, and then try to either get to Vengevine or Hogak.
Mm-hmm. Having a flashback Faithless Looting is not the third turn I think Chris Hafner is looking for.
Get him, Dylan.
Well, Dylan, I
get
think
him.
He'll get him. Don't worry, bud. Discarding a Blood Gas, playing a Polluted Delta, getting that Blood Gas back, sacrificing that Polluting Delta, getting a Blood Crypt that enters the battlefield untapped. And now it's a Lightning Axe to take care of the Thug, a Hogak, and some beatdowns. You wanted him to get him. I think this counts as getting him.
There it is.
There you go. There you go. That's what you wanted. You wanted him to get him.
Yeah, you got him.
he got him.
You got him. Way to go, Dylan.
Hafner's sideboard. He's got the 4 Leyline of the Voids, 2 Assassin's Trophies, 2 Rotting Regasaurs, the 2 Fatal Pushes, the 2 Force of Vigors, and the 3 Thoughtseizers, as we know.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see the ley lines and then the anti-leyline measures in Assassin's Trophy.
And the Force of Vigor. I know he brought at least one in the match yesterday to close out the day, so we'll see if he wants to bring in the other one. For Dylan Donegan, he's also got 4 Leyline of the Void, 2 Rotting Regasaur, 3 Assassin's Trophy, a Fatal Push, a Nature's Claim, 2 Thoughtseizes, and 2 Force of Vigors. So
same deal, stuff that can interact with leyline plus your ley lines.
I'm just really interested what these players sideboard out. I'd love to have a conversation with them about how they approach this. Do they sideboard out their Lightning Axes? Are they sideboarding out their Golgari Thugs, which Dylan also has this week, and he's got 3 of those. Insolent Neonates. What is actually coming out of the deck for these players? They got an idea of what's coming in.
I also wouldn't be surprised if it was some amount of shaving. So if you think that you don't have access to your graveyard, you would end up cutting out a lot of really powerful cards. And if you assume that you're going to have access to your graveyard, your deck's not going to be functional, and they have a ley line that's unchecked. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't surprise me if what you want to do is just have a blend of the stuff cut. Maybe you go -1 Hogak and -1 Gravecrawler, and just a blend of that kind of stuff to make the room.
Sure.
Because I can't imagine there being everything in the deck is interconnected. All the pieces kind of fuel the engine in some form or fashion.
It all works, right?
So I can't imagine just cutting out one class of card altogether. The deck doesn't really work that way.
Yep. And it's weird, too, because I don't think that, as an example, I think Hogak gets a little bit worse in the post-board games.
Yeah.
Because of Leyline and the fact that players have some amount of removal like Assassin's Trophy, but at the same time, and when you have Leyline, you really can't cast it. But when the Leyline's not there, you can play it as soon as turn 2, and that's the best thing that's on the battlefield.
For sure.
So
yep.
It's hard for me to believe that cutting some number of those is correct. It's tough to say, and I think players honestly are still figuring it out because the card in the deck is so new. So I don't think there's an exact right answer. There's a Leyline of the Void there for Chris Hafner. Dylan Donegan is in a little bit of trouble. It's a Swamp, it's a Gravecrawler. He's going to have to just kind of go with a normal beatdown deck because there's a Blood Crypt entering the battlefield untapped. Hafner falls down to 18. This is a Faithless Looting. He'll draw 2. And he'll be discarding 2. Bloodghast is 1. Swamp is another. We head back over to Donegan. Donegan picked up a copy of Hogak. Arguably the worst draw in his deck now, given the ley lines on the battlefield. But of course, if he has an answer to the ley line, it's not so bad. As there's a Marsh Flats that has been exiled, of course. Blood Crypt will enter the battlefield untapped. Donegan's going to fall down to 17. Now we'll see a Faithless Looting. So Dylan will draw 2. He'll be discarding 2 cards that, again, will be exiled because of the ley line of the Void. Goodbye, Gemstone Mine. Goodbye, Bloodstained Mire. Hello, Stitcher Supplier. Milling, 2 Assassin's Trophies.
Yep, some of his answers right there. Although, Donegan without green mana, so who knows if it would have even been good enough.
A Bloodghast will come back. An Alsator Wayfinder will be played. A Bloodghast and a Gravecrawler are headed to the graveyard. A Polluted Delta is headed to the hand. An Instant Neonate will join the fray. We're heading back over to Dylan Donegan. You mentioned Donegan without green mana, but I do think he has a Bloodstained Mire in hand. But he's got to get that ley line off the battlefield now that Hafner has some annoying little blockers out here. So he'll start by sacrificing the Mire. He'll get an Overgrown Tomb that's going to enter the battlefield untapped. That's a Satyr Wayfinder, top couple of cards. all headed to the exile zone. No lands. It's a Stitcher supplier. Those are gone too. We will head back over to Hafner. Hafner will flash back a Faithless Looting once again. He's really underneath no pressure. He's going to discard a Vengevine and a Bloodghast. Bloodghasts, plural, will come back from the graveyard. Vengevine will hang out there for now. And he'll attack with a Bloodghast, Insolent Neonates, and a Satyr Wayfinder. No real good blocks here for Donegan. He can't get Leyline off the battlefield, and he's going to concede the game.
Yeah, sometimes you see a little bit of paralysis there attacking through the one toughness blockers like or one power blockers like Stitcher Supplier there, but with Donegan under Leyline, no issues with Hafner attacking quickly, and Donegan no pressure, no defense, no use of the graveyard, no point in playing on.
Well, now they get ready for the third and final one, of course. In this Hogak Mirror, if Hafner wins, he's at a cool 10-0 and really in the driver's seat in this tournament. A tournament he's played so well when we got to watch him, both on our backup matches in the feature match area and also on our main matches. And then for Dylan Donegan, such a seasoned veteran here of the SCG Tour. So much winning he's done. And Hafner's going to send it back. Hafner going to take a look at a new hand. Of course, London Mulligan. Well, now he's going down to 5. This is bad news for Chris.
Yeah, it matters a lot more in the post-board games here for Hogak because, you know, you're looking for Leyline and you're looking for answers to Leyline. A lot of these dredge decks on 5-card hands operate just fine, just whatever. You have some stuff going on, but post-board, there's a lot more pressure to have specific cards, interaction for your opponent's graveyard, plus a way to fight over Leyline, and the mulligans do add up.
2 cards going to be going back here for Hafner in just a moment. I think Donegan's actually doesn't have Leyline at all. Okay, well, he must have a pretty good hand then. He's going to start with Stitcher Supplier. Vengevine's headed to the graveyard. We're heading back over to Chris. He'll play an Overgrown Tomb tapped. Dylan's going to play a Faithless Looting. There go a couple copies of Bloodghast.
Yeah, I think that if you have a good opening 7 with an answer to an opposing Leyline, you don't have to mulligan that kind of hand.
Sure. Well,
Gack you. Gack attack.
Gack you, get my Vengevine back. We're done. We're done. This game is over. Cool. Satyr Wayfinder.
Fire's back.
Yeah. Nice. All of it.
Like doing the math.
Yeah.
Like counting it out.
14's going to get through. Flashback Faithless Looting. Well, the Hogak Mirror, someone's got to find a solution to this thing. I don't know what it is, but someone's got to try to find a solution to this. There's got to be a best thing to do. I don't know what it is, though. You see a draw like this. That was Dylan's turn, too. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Look at Chris fighting the good fight, though. You got to respect it.
Love it. Love to see it.
Stitcher Supplier, Swamp, get back my Bloodghast that can't block, get back my Gravecrawler that can't block, a couple Vengevines that can, and a Gack attack? We got a little fight in him.
It's not a bad third turn. You know? It's not a bad third turn.
It's not a bad third turn.
Just not good enough.
That's right. Dylan Donegan's going to win this game and match you over Chris Hafner 2-1. The